Hey guys, today we're talking about some forbidden cards, but not like banned cards, just cards with the word forbidden in them. So we're starting off with Flash of the Forbidden Spell. So Flash of the Forbidden Spell is interesting because it works like a Raigeki, but it's much worse because there's a condition attached onto it, which Raigeki does not. And worse than Dark Hole as well, because once again, the condition. So if this condition is not met, this card is not activatable. But if your opponent controls monsters in all of their main monster zones, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Well, the effect itself is pretty good, but the condition just makes this card pretty unplayable. When we have multiple copies of Raigeki and Dark Hole, there is no reason to play this, and even Lightning Vortex is also better. So, yeah, uh, no reason to play this. First Seal of the Forbidden Spell. This card is actually pretty interesting. So, when a spell card is activated, discard one spell, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. And if you do that, your opponent cannot activate spell cards with that name for the rest of this duel. So first off, this is a counter trap, so this is not respondable, which is pretty fun. And the only downside to this card is essentially if you negate a spell you are also running, you will not be able to activate it for the rest of this duel as well. So just for example, if your opponent has a Called by the Grave and you discard, I don't know, just whatever spell you have on hand, like maybe a Raigeki, Lightning Storm, sure. Then now you can no longer activate Called by the Grave, right? So yeah, is what I would say if it actually said both players. But no, it just says your opponent. So yeah, that there's no really any downside aside from discarding a spell. So just needing a spell in hand to discard for Curse Seal of the Forbidden Spell and needing to hard open it, a bit awkward. That's about it. So Forbidden Arts of the Gishki. Never really seen this card before, but alright. This card can be used to ritual summon any Gishki ritual monster. You must also tribute monsters from anywhere on the field whose total levels exactly equal the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. If you do, its attack becomes help. Cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this card. So this card seems, strange. But like the playability of this card depends on like the levels of your opponent's monsters sometimes. But if you have monsters of like varying levels, you could probably adjust this so that they are going to be the correct level. Noticeably, this has no hard ones per turn, but I don't think this card can recycle itself, and I don't know if any Gishki cards can actually recycle ritual spells, so unsure on how good this is, but there is a better one that uses your life points. Uh, Essentially, however many, well, depending on the attack points of the Gishki monster you ritual summoned, you just take burn damage equivalent to its attack. That's it. You can just use any monster on the field. Just your opponent's or your own. Pot of the Forbidden One. Flip. You can activate one of these effects, draw two cards, return all spell, and trap cards on the field to the hand. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Look at your opponent's hand, also shuffle one card from the hand into the deck. And you can only use this effect of Pot of the Forbidden once per turn. So hard once per turn, but has a lot of relatively powerful effects. So Pot of Greed, and then return all spell and trap cards on the field to the hand. True Nade, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Raigeki, and then look at your opponent's hand. Also shuffle one card from the hand into the deck. So that this is not a pointer of the Red Lotus exactly, but very close to it. This would be like the effect of triple tactics to shuffle one. Like look at your opponent's hand and shuffle one. So pretty powerful card as well. Then let's see, we have Disciple of the Forbidden Spell. When this card is summoned, declare different monster card attributes equal to the number of Disciple of the Forbidden Spells in your graveyard. This card attacks a monster that has a declared attribute. Destroy the monster with this card's effect without applying damage calculation. Wait, what? What does that even mean? And this is only when it attacks? Well, strange. But without applying damage calc, does this mean I can just, like, assuming my opponent has just only fire monsters and I declare fire, can I just attack every single monster on their field with this guy? Unsure. Forbidden Scripture. If a monster battles an opponent's monster during damage calc, negate all other card effects on the field until the end of the damage step. Also, damage calculation for this spell uses each monster's original attack and defense. So, yeah, I don't see a single use case for that. Flat-tailed dragon. Forbidden? What? Oh, it's forbidden to capture it. It's a level 6 offense, the minimum sentence for which is imprisonment for no less than 2,500 heliocycles. Okay. And here we have Forbidden Dark Contract with the Swamp King. This is just not that useful of a card, honestly. Soft, once per turn, you and special summon one DDD monster from your hand in defense position, but its effects are negated, so there's no real point in doing this. Once per turn, you would fusion summon one fiend type fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, including a monster special summoned by this card with the above effect. So you have to special summon a monster with that effect in order to fusion summon. Well, that's worse than polymerization almost, so pretty awkward. And noticeably, this only special summons DDD monsters, triple D, so yeah. I don't know when you would ever play this card. Just doesn't seem that good to me. Then we have Exodia. So, you know, Exodia, if you just have all the pieces of Exodia, you win. Not much to say. Legendary Exodia Incarnate. Cannot be normal summon slash set. Must be special summoned from your hand by attributing one forbidden one monster, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card gains 1,000 attack for each. Wait, this cannot be normal summon slash set. Can you add this off of Chaos Base? Huh. Now, this would be a funny Chaos Base target to see. So, yeah. Anyway, once per turn during your end phase, add one forbidden one monster graveyard to your hand. When this card is destroyed by battle sent to the graveyard, you can reveal any number of forbidden one monsters in your hand, and if you do, draw one card for each. Fortunately, these guys are dark, because otherwise, imagine like Chaos Spacing left arm for Exodia Incarnate. That would be kind of funny. This one as well works the same, right? Cannot be normal summon slash set, must be special summon from your hand by shuffling all monsters in the graveyard into the deck. So this is also possible to add with Chaos Base. It cannot be special summoned by other ways. When this card declares an attack, send one monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. So that's Foolish Burial whenever it attacks. Wait, that's not entirely that bad, is it? It shuffles all monsters in your graveyard into the deck. So I think this means you would need a monster in the graveyard. So that condition would be met by Chaos Base. Okay, and then this is just a Foolish Burial, right? Yeah. And then this card gains 1,000 attack for each normal monster in your graveyard. If this waste of card would leave the field, banish it instead. If there are 5 different Forbidden One cards in your graveyard that were sent there by this card's effect, you win the duel. So, noticeably, that's for normal monster in your graveyard. Intriguing. And it banishes itself when it leaves the field, meaning it's going to be able to be shuffled back by Chaos Base. What is this random synergy with Chaos Base? Exodia Necros. Cannot be normal summon slash set, must be special summon, so it can be added by Chaos Base again. Must be special summoned with contract with Exodia and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Cannot be destroyed by battle or spell trap effect. Once per turn during your standby phase, this card gains 500 attack. Destroy this card unless all 5 of these cards are in your graveyard. Exodia the Forbidden One. Right arm of the Forbidden One, left arm of the Forbidden One, right leg of the Forbidden One, and left leg of the Forbidden One. Wait, what? Okay, so what I'm getting is this card is ass. So you need all 5 pieces of Exodia in the graveyard to have this guy. And this is the effect to gain. Attack is only during your standby phase. So it's just a 1.8k, well, the 1.8k guy. All right. And real quick, let's see. Contract with Exodia. If you have all 5 of Exodia, the forbidden one, yada yada. Okay. In your graveyard, special summon 1 Exodia Necros from your hand. The specials from hand as well. Oh my god. That's awful. And then during your standby phase, right? Well, not during your standby phase. You just can't have this on your field unless all 5 pieces of Exodia are in the graveyard. If that condition is not met at any point in time, this just destroys itself, huh? Well, okay, I guess. So now we have Torbus to the Forbidden Realms flip. Add 1 fiend monster for your deck to your hand, except a dark or light monster. I mean, the flip effect, aside from being a flip effect, is pretty good. Technically, you can add any, wait, except a dark or light monster. So it's any fiend that's fire, water, wind, or fire, water, wind, or earth, or technically a divine fiend if one existed, which is impossible, I guess. But, huh? Add a fiend monster for a deck to your hand, except a dark or light monster. Yeah, that gets a lot worse. No idea what you would do with this. But we can add technically Kawaki Meru Doom, which is just kind of a heinous floodgate to an extent. But I mean, not by itself because you wouldn't be able to keep it on the field. But yeah, maybe you could use this for something, but I don't know. And then we have Forbidden Chalice. Target 1 face of monster in the field until the end of this turn. That target gains 400 attack, but its effects are negated. So this is pretty simple. This is similar to like an imperm. So you just essentially your opponent's card will gain 400 attack as well, but this will negate a monster's effect just like imperm, except only on your turn or when you've set this. No hard ones per turn as well. So this card actually pretty decent among this card pool. Oh, and of course, can't forget Forbidden Droplet. Send any number of other cards from your hand and or field to the graveyard. So this doesn't work on pendulum cards because they can't be sent to the graveyard for cost. So choose that many effect monsters your opponent controls, and until the end of this turn, their attack is halved. Also, their attacks are negated. So the order is attack halve and then negate. So this actually should be activatable under skill drain, right? Nope, not possible because this is mandatory, isn't it? Also, their effects are negated, right? I think this might not be resolvable under skill drain. Well, cool, I guess. In response to this card's activation, your opponent cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with the same original type, monster, spell, trap. This card sent to the graveyard to activate this card. So this card is just good for dismantling boards. So let's say we have like Sword Soul, and I send monster, so I can negate Baron and then Long One or whatever. Chizao, or Chizao, Long One, Baron, whatever. Chengying, all of them get negated all the same. And this doesn't target, so it bypasses any targeting protection as well and will negate it if the targeting protection is on the card, like for example with Orland. So pretty solid and has usages in general. This card kind of fell off with Kashtira being played, so now that Kashtira is a bit nerfed, this will see a little bit more play, but keeping in mind that Early is a deck that exists, there's still a chance this isn't going to see play again, but it kind of depends as well, depending on like what is being played. Like against Vanquish Soul, this isn't like that good. I mean, it's like alright, but you could be doing better than having Forbidden Droplet. Just plain old Raigeki is better against Vanquish Soul, for example. And then, let's see, Forbidden Trapezohedron. Wow, what is this? If you control exactly 2 monster card types among Fusion Synchro and or XYZ, so it has to be these ones, okay? Apply the following effect based on those types. Fusion and Synchro, special summon 1 outer entity, XYZ monster, from your extra deck, and if you do, attach this card to it as material. You need to control them, okay. Strange. Special summon one Elder Entity fusion monster for an extra deck. XYZ Infusion. Special summon one Old Entity Synchro monster from your extra deck. So this is actually somewhat generic, actually, then. Because it's just controlling these. Okay. So, let's see. Must be special summoned from your extra deck by sending the above cards you control to the graveyard. Once per turn, you can special summon one level 4 monster from your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. Yeah, I don't think that's doable. Norden. Banned, so you can't summon it. So there are no fusion monsters you can summon. Old Entity Cthulhu. If this card is synchro summoned, you can return all rank 4 XYZ monsters on the field to the extra deck. If you fusion summon using this card as fusion material, draw one card, and XYZ monster that was summoned using this card at the field as XYZ material against this effect. If it is XYZ summoned, draw one card. This is generic. I'm not sure how many of the Exo Sister cards are rank 4, but it would be funny just to summon this against them. Alright. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Equip this card from your graveyard to that monster. That monster cannot attack. Also, its effects are negated. If this card leaves the field while equipped to an opponent's monster by this effect, take control of the monster this card was equipped to. Wait, what? Oh, this is interesting. If this leaves the field, it'll negate your opponent's monster effects, but this is going to be an if, so that would be next chain. And then if this gets removed, so take control of the monster this card was equipped to. That is interesting. So whatever monster this is equipped onto, it's pretty much just lost, right? Leaves the field. So if you banish this even, yeah, that's kind of crazy. Older or outer entity Nyarla? Okay. Generic. When this card is XYZ zone, you discard any number of cards. Increase this card's rank by the number of discarded cards. Once per turn, while this card has XYZ material, you can target one monster in your graveyard to attach all materials from this card. And if you do, attach that target to this card as material. Okay, when a monster is attached by this effect, this card's type and attribute become the same as that monster's original type and attribute. So I guess the idea for the synergy is maybe we send Natis, and then like equip Natis onto this. And then we can just keep tagging out like these guys. And triggering their effects when they're sent to the graveyard. Well, I guess that was an interesting concept, except there are other cards that send. So those make it kind of annoying. Dogmatic of Punishment. So yeah, we also have Forbidden Dress. This is a bit niche, but whatever. Target one face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. That target loses 600 attack, but cannot be targeted or destroyed by other card effects. So this gives targeting protection and destruction protection to just a monster on your field, which is pretty interesting. It's just protection. Can't really hate on protection that much. Then we have Forbidden Apocrypha. Declare one monster card type, Fusion, Synchro, or XYZ, so those are your three options. If two or more monsters of the declared type are on the field, make each player send all monsters of that type from their field to the graveyard. This is actually not that bad of a card, surprisingly enough. And a normal trap at that. So if my opponent controls at like just two guys that send all synchros to the graveyard. So just for example, I can well, actually, it says make each player send all monsters of that type from their field to the graveyard, but I'm sure that doesn't matter. So if my opponent is playing, I don't know, let's say Sword Soul once again, just Baron, Jizao, I can just declare this, and then Declare synchro, my opponent would have to send. They can try to Baron negate, but I guess I could probably stop that Baron negate and maybe cheese out as well. So, pretty well, actually, yeah, Sword Soul's not a good example for this, but just the general idea, like, I think Exo Sister might be a better one to hit with this. Declare XYZ, send everything. Very cool. Kinda niche. There are probably better cards that do something similar to this. In fact, Torrential Tribute is just better because it's completely generic and it'll destroy all monsters on the field, but I guess that would technically affect your monster as well, so maybe you don't want that. Contract with Exodia. That's not gonna do much. Condemned Witch. When this card is normal summoned, you can add any forbidden quick play spell from your deck to your hand, which is pretty neat. During your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you attribute this card special summon one level 4 fairy monster from your deck, except for Condemned Witch. Wait. Any level 4 fairy? Well, we'll have to take a look at what that consists of. Forbidden Lance. Target one face of monster on the field until the end of this turn. That target loses 800 attack, but is unaffected by the effects of other spells / traps. This card's actually more flexible than you would think. So noticeably, this card can technically make your card unaffected by like a skill drain. So let's say I control Baron. I can just use this on my Baron and then I should be able to remove skill drain, right? So that's neat. And aside from that, just being immune to spell and traps can be useful. It will only be for the turn, however, so this has some like niche uses depending on like what cards are currently being played, I guess. Like against Runic, this is pretty damn good. But against like, for example, I don't know, let's say Sword Soul, this can only protect you from Blackout, assuming they're targeting a monster. Anyway, so I guess Obliterate. I wouldn't really say this is a forbidden card, but essentially what this does is you can send a piece of Exodia to the graveyard, and if you do, you can return a card to the hand. So, no, not a card. So, target a monster on field. So, a monster on field can be returned to the hand every single turn, because this is a continuous trap. And you can target. This card is sent from the spell and trap zone to the graveyard. You can target one forbidden one monster or Exodia card in your graveyard. Add it to your hand. So this says send one forbidden one monster or Exodia card. Technically, this would be an Exodia card, so I think you could add that to your hand if it's in the graveyard, but I don't know how it would get in the graveyard, but okay. So let's look at Condemned Witch. So Forbidden Scripture, yeah, whatever. So this allows you to just special summon during your opponent's main phase any level 4 fairy monster from your deck. I mean, it doesn't even specify type, right? Yeah. So surely there must be a degenerate usage for this. I refuse to believe that there is not. So fairy 4. Every single monster on this list can be special summoned. Okay. So Mudora, that's pretty tame. Sakitama. Okay. Aha! Barrier Statue of the Heavens. Well, simple. It doesn't get much worse than this. I don't think there's a need to care about, like, the majority of these cards, but... Oh, hey. You can summon a Luber off of this if you really want to. Not that it would do anything, right? A lot of these don't super do anything to just summon on your opponent's turn, right? Yeah, probably not. So, I mean, yeah. If I normal summon Condemned Witch, and then we get, like, I don't know, Forbidden Droplet or Forbidden Scripture. Wait, that combo's nasty, and then it becomes harder to beat over Bear Statue of the Heavens after I tag out into Condemned Witch. Speaking of which, could you not play Stun like this? So we can go like this. Let's remove some of this. So we could have, I don't know, I don't think you need this one necessarily, so we have Forbidden Chalice, probably, and that might be good enough. Or maybe for one copy Forbidden Lance as well. Yeah. So, like, this is not necessary. This is not that great either. So, let's say we have something like, I don't know, this, and then we go like, Midir Servant. Oh, whoops. Midir Servant. Okay. So, we do this, and then we throw in like Ecclesia and stuff. Yeah, this would work. I mean, the only issue is this can be like ashed, but your opponent, if they are not aware of this effect that much, hmm, they might not be aware of this, and you'll just hag out after they like ash the first part, and now they just have to contend with Barrier Statue. Wow, this is annoying. Now that I think about it, I think I've seen a stun player play this like that, just like going into Barrier Statue of the Heavens off of Condemned Witch. Wow. Now that I think about it, that's only a normal summon, but yeah. You could definitely play Reasoning with this though. Now this hurts to see. But yeah. That was all of the forbidden cards. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.